Another hot one today, but not too hot, only 30. Woohoo! Temperature's down. So, Blue Marble Riders, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. Bit of a quandary today. Brand loyalty. Glad to be with you again, and I have just picked up a new wheel for my lawnmower. I know you were hoping I was going to say bike, but this does pertain to bikes. This is about brand loyalty. This lawnmower I've had since 1986. 1986, and it was second hand when I bought it from a landscaping company, so it had a tough life then. And only two things have ever gone wrong with it. One, and it's still perfectly usable, I've never bothered fixing it because it was really more cosmetic than anything else, is the throttle. The throttle lever, the little T-bar on the top snapped off, and finally this rear right wheel basically cracked and just fell off. So I just picked a new one up. $11. Not bad, eh? I've done 3 oil changes and 1 air filter change. I blow it out with a compressor most of the time. What a piece of equipment. But the point is this, how does this relate to bikes? Well, brand loyalty. Will I get another one when this one packs it up? And my answer to you is absolutely no, I won't. What? A lot of you are saying? You soulless mercenary. Yeah, I am. And you know why I am? It's because that's what companies have become. Back in the day when this was built, there were ads on magazines, full color, luxurious, beautiful ads. Some guy happily mowing his very, very green lawn with his Stetson on. His wife standing at the doorway, waving a handkerchief at him. God knows what that means, but that's what she was doing. And then there was TV, and you could see Briggs & Stratton ads, or in my case, it's a lot less bother than a hover in England. And that was it. You had no way to interact with them. But the marketplace these days, and that goes with motorcycles, is cutthroat. We've got a way to get right back at them through vids like this, through social media. If you buy a product you don't like and it doesn't perform to the way that you feel it should, well then you can get back at them immediately, and it damages them immediately. Not only that, companies like Briggs & Stratton, rather like the British brands Norton, Triumph, Velocet, Matchless, Ariel, and Harley-Davidson, American of course, Victory, Indian, and all of the other American brands, Excelsior I think it was, quite a few others, all of those practically went out of business or had a very hard time when the Far East decided to start manufacturing equivalent products. And when I say equivalent, I mean they looked the same, but initially they didn't have the same quality. Lawnmowers today are cheaper than they were then. They're built cheaper, they're built quicker, and companies like Briggs & Stratton have had to compromise their quality because word of mouth is no longer good enough. That reputation that your granddad talked about, that's gone to pot. They'll look at reviews, and if it's got good reviews, good reliability, then they will go ahead and buy it. Brand name, be damned. It's value for money. So Briggs & Stratton have had to cut corners in order to compete with competitors from the Far East, like originally Japan, Taiwan, Korea, and now of course the massive powerhouse China. And if you think that they haven't cut corners, well, I think you need to think again. They've probably gone offshore. They're probably using cheaper parts that are in many other lawnmowers, etc. And the good name of Briggs & Stratton, while it may potentially still be a good name, is not quite the same as it was before. And that goes with motorcycles. BMW are now building theirs in India and China, and I do not mean to cast aspersions on that. Harley building some of theirs in India now. The labor rates are cheaper. Are they the same bikes as the ones built in Europe, or in Harley's case America? Good question. And so that brings me on to motorcycle brand loyalty. Most of my bikes have been Suzuki's and Kawasaki's. I just like the feel, the build quality. They just spoke to me. Will my next bike be a Suzuki or Kawasaki? Perhaps, but probably not. Probably I will be a mercenary and shop around, because there's very little to choose between many of the bike manufacturers now. I would say, and I think we all know, that the Japanese probably are slightly more reliable, certainly a little cheaper, but the build quality between a good Japanese bike now and something like a BMW or a Ducati or a KTM is very close. It's nowhere near as wide as it used to be. KTM, Ducati, Kawasaki, they are marks, but they have had to cut corners in order to keep their prices down. So will my bike necessarily be a Kawasaki or Suzuki? Am I brand loyal? No, folks. I'm a brand mercenary. I will go and find the bike that fits me best, that I like the feel of, that puts the biggest smile on my face and is good value for money. I've had plenty of people say I've had a Kawasaki forever. I started with the Zs, I went to the GP-Zs, and I'm really loving my Z900RS. I completely get that. That bike fits them. It's got the soul they grew up with, they're used to it. It feels like what a motorcycle should to them. Okay, and I do not denigrate those people at all. There's validity in that argument. Same as Harley riders. They wouldn't like this. It's too smooth, and they might say it's soulless. They like heavy-duty V-twin vibrations, and I get that. Okay, it's got an aura, it's got a feel to it. Were you brand loyal and you've departed from that brand to go somewhere else because they either no longer met your criteria, or you changed somehow, or someone did it better? Give me your thoughts below. I'd love to hear it. What is it that dictates you or hones you in towards a particular bike or group of bikes? And then how do you make your final decision? Does brand come into it at all? Because as we've seen, perhaps there differences between brands these days are getting less and less. Am I right or am I wrong? Let me know what you think. BlueMarbleRider out.
Once again, thanks for watching, everyone. If this is the first time you've watched, please consider subscribing. I do product reviews, motorcycle reviews, off-road and on-road vlogs, as well as tours. Don't forget to follow me on social media, that's Instagram, Facebook and Twitter, and to like, and especially, I'm begging you here folks, subscribe. This is the BlueMarbleRider, out.